Booberus von Tuberus, I am back with more things that I have accomplished. Yeah, I read things and I played things and I watched things. Way to go, me. A little more diverse this time. We got a book, we got a movie, we got 3 video games, but again, very game heavy, as it has been lately. First up, we'll do the book. It is called Star Wars, Queen's Peril. This is a prequel to a book called Queen's, I forget the name of it. Not Queen's Hope, that's the next one. Queen's something or other. And it has a picture of Padme in her white kind of battle outfit from Geonosis. This takes place right leading up to when she was elected queen on Naboo. And focuses on the election very briefly at the start. She's elected. And then her guard, Captain Panaka, it then shifts to his focus on picking the various handmaidens that become Padme's friends, allies, decoys, all those different functions they serve. And it's all about the relationships and how those handmaidens are incorporated into her becoming queen. They're all picked for different talents and abilities, and they all teach each other these things. They all teach each other, how they're going to speak so that they can, fill in to be the queen and nobody will know it, sort of thing. So it's all those relationships developing. And while the story's going on, there's like just little brief flashes to like, oh, Anakin's on Obi-Wan. Anakin's on Tatooine right now, competing in a pod race that he crashes out in, sort of thing. Oh, Newt Gunray is doing this in the Senate. Darth Sidious is doing this on Coruscant, right? So it's got all these little flashes to what all the major players in the Phantom Menace are kind of doing at the time that she's elected and starting out. And one of the adventures she gets up to is she sneaks out of the palace at night with her handmaidens and they go to a concert and get busted, sort of thing. So it's all about those relationships. And then the book ends kind of right as the Trade Federation has put the blockade on Naboo, and the Battle of Naboo is kind of getting underway, sort of thing, and leads right into that whole Phantom Menace throughout the Phantom Menace events of the movie, sort of thing. So good book. And like I said, there's another one coming called Queen's Hope, which I will eventually get to. Next up, Ghostbusters Afterlife. Can't believe it took me this long to see this movie, but it was friggin' amazing. I was looking so forward to it, and it did not disappoint. It starts off with kind of this guy that you can't really tell who it is on this like rural farm somewhere, and he's after a ghost, and it looks like a big one, and he kind of lures it to his farm where he has some sort of a trap set up for it, but it fails, and ultimately he perishes. We go to somewhere, Chicago, I think, where a girl named, is it Cassie or Callie or something like that? A single mom with a 15-year-old son named Trevor, and then his younger sister Phoebe. They can't pay their rent anymore. Rent's going up. They're kind of broke. So they inherit this farmhouse that this guy at the start passed away on. And when they get there, it's Somerville, Oklahoma. It's a little small town out in the desert, sort of thing, it looks like. And as they start getting adjusted to it in the old farmhouse, they're like, what the hell was Grandpa doing? We find out that Grandpa, the guy that died, Egon Spengler, one of the Ghostbusters. So Phoebe goes to some summer science class at the school where Paul Rudd stars as Gary Gruberson or something like that, who's a science teacher, gets to know Phoebe a little bit, and she's talking about she's had a ghost experience at the farmhouse, and it's actually Egon's ghost trying to teach her stuff. And so she talks to Gary about this, and he goes, "What? Oh, you're I think you're the grandson of a Ghostbuster and whatnot." And so he shows them clips of the 80s of the Ghostbusters invasion of New York and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, so what's going on at the house? So they find out eventually that the ghost isn't Egon. And he points Phoebe towards different things he had hidden around the yard. And she fixes up the equipment and stuff like that. And it's just in time, because why Egon was in Somerville, Oklahoma and abandoned his other 3 Ghostbusters was that he had figured out that every so many years, Gozer the Gozerian is trying to come back to Earth. And 2021 was one of those years. So he was trying to stop this invasion from happening, which was coming from a mine shaft in Somerville. So Phoebe and Trevor get caught up in Gozer's resurrection in 2021 and become junior Ghostbusters themselves and fight off Gozer. And of course, the 3 remaining Ghostbusters show up, as does the ghost of Egon. They kind of throw a nice little tribute to Harold Ramis there. And it's just awesome. Awesome movie. Gozer and her little hound dogs of hell are in the movie, just like in the original Ghostbusters. It was just a nice little throwback nod to that original movie within a new kind of plot, right? So good. Next up, Sackboy, A Big Adventure for the PS4, which of course is part of the Little Big Planet franchise. In this game, we start things off in the village of Loom within Craft World, where all of a sudden one day the enemy Vex, who I think we've seen in past Little Big Planet games, swoops in and threatens all of the village to become his slaves, sucks them up, and he puts them to work building his topsy-turver device, which he's going to use to conquer Craft World. Sackboy is one of the few who escape, and a older Sack woman named Sally or something like that takes Sackboy under her wing and says, you know what, you've got to stop Vex, and you can do so by getting to the pieces he needs to complete building the topsy-turver before he can and prevent that from happening. So you kind of traipse through 5 different worlds and try and gain those components and stop Vex, and in the end, of course, you have to battle him, and after you've beat the game, there's a 6th world that opens up, but you got to collect all these orbs in order to access it. And if you've watched my gameplay, we didn't have near enough orbs, and we were done, and it was like, we're not going back, because maybe you have to get every single orb in the game, which, not impossible, but maybe improbable, but at the least very difficult. So we were like, we're good. We beat the game. We don't need that last world. We're good. Fun game, though, as all the Little Big Planet games are. And this one was a nice upgrade from Little Big Planet 3, because although Little Big Planet 3 was awesome, it was so short, it was unbelievable. So this was actually a longer game than that, and a much more in-depth kind of experience that went on for as long as we felt. It was a good length, let's just say. Next up, Spyro the Dragon, the Reignited Trilogy. So this contains the 3 original Spyro games that were released on the PlayStation 1 in 98, 99, and 2000, I believe. So it's Spyro's Adventure, Spyro 2, Ripto's Revenge, or something like that, and then Spyro 3, The Year of the Dragon. So basically they're remastered, and they're all in this collection. In the original Spyro's living in the Land of Dragons, but this villain named Nasty Nork, who's an orc kind of creature, wants to take over the dragon world, and so he encases all the dragons in this crystal. Spyro's just a little tiny dragon, and he's like, I'm up to the challenge, so you have to go through, I think, 5 worlds and free all the dragons and take down Nasty Nork in the end. In Spyro 2, Ripto's Revenge, I think it's raining and it's bad weather in the dragon world, so they take a vacation to this like beach kind of world, and they get dragged into this adventure where this what is he, a wizard or something like that, named Ripto, is trying to take over this world. And so you meet Hunter the cheetah, Elora the fawn, and this professor that kind of drags you to his land. When you're trying to go on vacation, you get dragged to this other world, and so you just set out to take down Ripto and help these guys get free from the oppression that he has brought to their worlds. And then in Spyro 3, Year of the Dragon, it is the Year of the Dragon. Every 12 years, dragon eggs are laid, and they're going to hatch, and so they're celebrating. But an evil sorceress with her little apprentice Bianca go about stealing all the eggs, and she has devious plans for them. Basically, she's going to kill all the dragons. And so as Spyro, you again have your allies with Hunter and Elora, and I think, is there another one? I don't remember, but you have to go through the different worlds and recollect all the eggs and save the eggs from doom, and then eventually, of course, face off against the sorceress in the end to beat the game. So I beat 1 and 3, but Spyro 2, there's a boss near the end that was just so hard to beat, and I just got so frustrated, I was like, fuck it. So I tried it again after I beat Spyro 3 to go back and do the 2, and I played that boss fight again for about 2 minutes, and I was like, nope, I'm done. I'm actually really done. Again. All right, so, but 2 out of 3 ain't bad, and most of the 3rd one. Whatever. Last up, this was a beauty, and I got this at Dollarama for $4, like, I don't know, a number of years ago. 2016's Titanfall 2. This is a sequel to the original Titanfall, which I've never played, which I wasn't even aware of until I found this. And you star as Rifleman Jack Cooper, who is part of the Freedom Militia or something like that. And you are fighting against the Intergalactic Manufacturing Corporation, who are trying to get their hands on this super weapon that they're going to use to destroy the world of Harmony, which is one of the Freedom Alliance's planets. So what the militia uses are these big mech suits that are actually smart. Like the robots are actually have personalities and stuff, and then the pilot goes inside them and they form kind of a team, kind of like Pacific Rim, but on a smaller scale, and they're not quite linked the same way. So Jack Cooper is actually just a rifleman, so he's not a pilot of a mech suit, but the guy that he's kind of training under, he dies in one of the initial battles. So you become the pilot for a mech suit named BT-7274, I think it is, and you have to kind of become synced with him as you progress through the game, and eventually become a certified pilot, and just have to go after the Galactic Manufacturing Corporation and stop them from unleashing this weapon on Harmony. This game, like I said, it was $4 at Dollarama. I'd never heard of it at the time, but it was $4 and it was a PS4 game, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy it even if it's a piece of shit. It's $4, right? Turns out this is one of my favorite games I've played in recent memory. It's medium to short length, which is fine because I don't mind short games as long as they're really good. I'd rather a short, awesome game than a long piece of shit. Graphics, gameplay, the story, the humor, the action, everything about this game is awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And of course, mech suits, just in general, are awesome. So the whole thing really just captivated your attention the whole way. And it's not an extremely difficult game, but it has a few really hard parts. You have to face off against other mechs, but there's boss mechs along the way. I think there's 5 in total, and the 4th one in particular, Viper, I had a real tough time with, but they can get challenging. So the game is a good difficulty. It's not impossible. It's not even really hard, but it can be challenging at times. But the game is so well displayed and presented, and it's so much fun that you just can't go wrong. And considering the fact that I got it for $4, like, it makes no sense. It makes 0 sense. And actually, it's tied into Apex Legends, which my son plays a lot. So I don't know anything about Apex other than I've seen him playing it and stuff. So somehow, some way, it's linked into Apex. Just in case you like Apex Legends and have never heard of Titanfall, that might be something to think about, or vice versa. So that's it. That's the 5 things I have for you this time. But I'm going to start working on more right away. Till next time.